For Kitchen Table Talk today, we want to have a conversation about racism and how for some of us parents and grandparents, we may avoid talking about anti-racism with our children simply because you may not know what to say or it might make you feel uncomfortable.
Right. On the other hand, though, for Black and brown families, we don't have the option to not discuss it because we live it, in a lot of cases, every day. We're not afraid to have uncomfortable conversations here at 9 News at 3. It seems like in the discomfort is where a lot of growth and understanding lives. And so that's why we want to, open up the table and discuss it. Just dive in. We have the best person possibly on the planet to do that with us today, Dr. Rosemarie Allen, president and founder of Center of Equity and Excellence. Thank you so much for being here.
I'm so excited to be here and to have this discussion.
Yes, and we've discussed this before, and something you told me a few years ago, you may not even remember, that just resonated with me so much, because before we start talking about racism and anti-racism, you have to understand that kids are recognizing race and distinguishing between race as babies. So the option of not saying anything is not an option, right?
It is not, because they're noticing. They notice race at about 6 months old and actually prefer the same race caregivers.
Wow.
And by the time they're 2, they're already absorbing the implicit bias and racism in their environment. And those early preschoolers, your baby's 4.5, they are already attaching race and value. They know who's valued, they know who's not, because so many Black children are suspended from school for the same behaviors their white friends engage in. So all of a sudden now they're seeing Black children as bad, Black children as dispensable. We even hear children say, so-and-so is bad, mommy. This little boy is bad. So teachers are unconsciously passing down this racism and implicit bias to their kids.
Right, and if we don't talk about it, how are we supposed to combat it? And I hear so many, friends of mine or people I know say, oh, but how do we talk about it? I don't want to pop their bubble and ruin their innocence. And to me, that is a disservice and injustice, because then you're taking away the opportunity for your child to stand up and be an upstander or an ally.
And it starts just with noticing. I was in the supermarket not long ago, and a little guy ran towards the aisle, almost bumped into me and said, hey, you're Black. And I said, yeah, and you're white with blue eyes. He goes, yeah, your eyes aren't blue. No, they're not. My eyes are brown. Casual conversation. But I know that would have been different had his mom been there, because chances are she would have shushed him. We don't say that. So children, especially children, white children, they learn it's not okay to talk about race. They're shushed when they notice, Mom, look at that Black guy. Don't say that. They're noticing. And the more comfortable we are as adults to say, yeah, he's Black. His skin is kind of like Brian's. Yes, and their friend's skin is kind of like yours. And talk about it very casually. Then they begin to accept differences. And then we can talk about unfairness. We can talk about what's fair and not fair, and about 3.5 to 5, prime opportunity. They say some people are treated differently because of the way they look, because of the color of their skin. Is that fair? And children at this age right away know that's not fair, know that's not okay, but it really starts with the comfort of adults in bringing this up.
And I love you say when you ran into the little boy at the store, notice me. I don't see color. No, see my color.
Yes.
I'm a proud Black woman. See who I am, right?
Yeah, it's essential that we do. And it's a lie to say we don't. It's a lie for me to say, oh, Alex, I don't notice color. I know you're a Black woman. And when I can see that, then I can understand how she moves in the world. I can understand, when you see me as a Black woman, you understand my fear when my son told me his headlight went out. Right. His headlight went out, and if I'm talking to you as my white friend, you can say, that must be scary.
Right. And that's what, having these conversations for me, and just a handful of years ago, I'm 44 years old, I learned from 2 of my Black friends that they'd have the talk. And the talk, to some of our viewers, white viewers who may not be aware, is, having Black parents, grandparents sit down with their children and tell them the talk about what to do if you encounter the police, or just racial inequity. And these are things that I never knew. So as a white woman, as a white mother, How do I talk to my children about that? Because I want them to understand that their peers have to have different conversations than they do. I just want them to be empathetic at the end of the day.
Absolutely, and I love that you said empathetic. It's important that we promote empathy and not sympathy, because then there becomes this hierarchy. But when we talk about the challenges people face, people who are different from us, then we do promote that empathy. It's so interesting you bring this up. My son and I, who just turned 30, we were at the Park Meadows Mall not long ago, and he said, "Do you remember when you told me I couldn't climb? You know, like, it's not a climbing structure, it's like a waterfall."
Yep.
He was 3. And I said, "You can't climb." And he said, "Well, those kids are climbing," and they were white children. And that's popping that bubble. I said, "Honey, because of the color of your skin, there are some things other children can get away with doing that's wrong, but you can't." He goes, "But that's not fair." And you know what I did? I let him climb. Within 2 seconds, a security guard came and told him to get off.
I believe it.
So let's just say that's your child that's there. What if you talk to your children about this and they were able to say, "Well, how come I can stay on and he can't?" That's how we empower our children to be those upstanders, to notice that some children are treated differently, and to really stand up and speak out against it.
Such an empowering conversation, isn't it?
It is. And just empowering our children to say, yeah, you should say something.
Yes.
Or I can model it, right? I could say something if
right.
my kids are too little and model
Absolutely.
it. Thank
And
you,
to
both of you.
intervene,
Thank
yes.
you. Dr. Rosemarie, we so appreciate you having the time to have this conversation with us. We're going to have more of them. To get in touch with Dr. Rosemarie and to see all her incredible work that she is doing, you can head over to rosemarieallen.com.